banger. Also, every girl I've ever met named Stacy fucking hates that song. Anyway. But she does got it going on. And she's all I want, and I've waited so long. And Stacy, can't you see that you're just not the girl for me? I know it might be wrong, but I'm in love with Stacy's mom. What about their moms? You know, I'll be honest, the last time I knew a girl named Stacy, I never actually met her mom. You see, I never was that cool kid. I never got asked to come over after school, though. Not once. You know a guy named Stacy? But what about Stacy's mom? Also, I feel real bad for any guy named Stacy. That's like my childhood friend who was named Ashley. He hated his name. Sometimes I think some parents just hate their kids and just want to torture them. Just some bad fire safety? Or it's kind of conspiracy theory-y, but that's what this entire war has been. His mom's toxic. Wow. Okay, that escalated quickly. Lucifer Leroy? You have a cool dad, Cyrilic. I don't know what your name ended up being, but that's an awesome name. Your mom overruled him as he wasn't there when you were born, so aw, man. Rip. So I met this kid camping eons ago. I was a little kid at the time. But this memory is burned into my brain. And I remember him saying that his parents got married, and instead of deciding to like take one or the other one's last name, they decided to combine their last names, which is somewhat common-ish practice. It's not that common, but it's not unheard of. And so they decided to combine their last names. Mom's last name was Hellard, and Dad's last name was Armstrong. So they made their last name Armlard. Like arm fat, Armlard. And this kid, who was like my age, little boy, nice and edgy, as you generally are when you're a young kid, was really, really mad that his family didn't decide to name themselves Hellstrong. And instead they went with Armlard. Because, like, no, not Lord, L-A-R-D, Armlard. But they could have been Hellstrong. They were so close to potentially the coolest last name in human history. But instead they went with Armfat. You'll get invaded by zombies every 6 weeks. Lard is a word. L-A-R-D, yes. It's also a post-punk industrial side project by Ministry. But yeah, it's a it's lard is it's like it's fat. Lard is like if you put lard into the pan so that you melt it down into oil before you cook. Like, you can cook with lard. Lard is like the super thick, squishy fat that you can get out of, like, from a butcher, basically. But yes, lard is a thing. Yeah, it's good for, it's like animal fat cooking oil, basically. So they name themselves Arm Lard, whereas they could have named themselves Hellstrong. One of the actors from Twilight got married, and his name is Taylor. I know Taylor Lautner. So they're both Taylor. That's funny, actually. That's like that's really funny. I mean, Taylor's a common name, so. Oh, that is really funny. Taylor Lautner's actually a pretty good actor. Not in that movie, but just in general, he's pretty good. Are you going to come back to life, Dwarf? So we are clear cutting all of these trees over here. Is what we're currently doing. Once we clear cut all of those trees, then we're going to start the lava flowing on this side again. Because this side is good to go. All ready to go. How many dwarves are actually chopping trees? Not many. 2. 3. Yeah, 2 currently. Turning 3 of my squads off so that we can have more hands on deck. Refuse. Let's just dump corpses. It was with Taylor Swift, too? Huh. I mean, I didn't know. You just proved in one sentence, Sock Smell, that you know more about celebrity stuff than I've ever cared to even think about. Simply by stating that Taylor Lautner was together with Taylor Swift at one point. Like, I had no idea and never would have learned that. That's a lot of lava up there still. It does take a really long time for lava to cool off. All I know about Taylor Swift is that she's been in a battle to get the rights for her music back for a while, which is like a weirdly constant problem in the music industry. Okay, maybe not weirdly, but it is a rather constant problem in the music industry. Let's go kill that wolf. Interrupted by what, wolf? Oh, wombat corpse. Just as bad. Yeah, it is a sadly constant problem. It's ruined a lot of people's careers, too. Lard was made up for Dwarf Fortress? Did I just, like, teach half of my chat that the word lard exists? I mean, it is kind of one of those esoteric, like, you don't hear it that often English words, but, like... Perhaps it's just because I've spent... Perhaps it's just because I've spent too much time... learning about cooking. That was a joke. Didn't read like a joke, and you didn't give us any text indication claiming that that was a joke. Chat, did what Axon say look like a joke to you, or did it look like they were being genuine? In order for it to be a joke, you have to put a kappa on it or some sort of emote to indicate humor. I didn't see any humor. I don't like seeing the numbers. They kind of annoy me. But, yeah, it's fair. It is draining slowly. Do I append kappa to all my jokes? How often do you see me typing in Twitch chat? Because yes. If I'm typing in a joke, 1000% chance I'm posting an emote with it. To imply some sort of joke, either a smiley face or a kappa or a comfy or a derp or something to prove that I'm being silly. If I type something in plain text, it means I'm being dead serious. Not totally sure what's burning there, but there's something burning there. Oh, a steel bolt. Not sure how that only just caught fire. Maybe somebody fired it. Mayor cancels dump. Interrupted by wolf corpse. See any living dead wolves, though? Mayor interrupted dump. Indeed. Down here, I theoretically pretty soon can start digging out this side to begin making our lava moat. Theoretically. Because it's not going to fill back up with water. It's just going to it's going to just drain, right? Yeah, this is all like 4s and 3s, and up here's in 5s and 6s. Up here is still 7 of 7. But it is draining, clearly. What is Cap anyway? Somebody who used to work for Twitch. And the first 30 Twitch emotes, actually I think it was the first 20, were all Twitch employees. So Kappa is one. PR Chase is another. That guy's another one. Those are all Twitch employees, right? And obviously most emotes now are just like marketing. But back in the day, the first emotes were all Twitch employees. Like here, I'll post some others. Or like streamers. So they were either like streamers or they were Twitch employees. And so Kappa is one of those employees. And he hasn't worked for Twitch in like 8 years or something. But Twitch owns the rights to his likeness and they pay him royalties for it. So how do I word this? Whenever a new emote was added to Twitch Global Emotes, when there wasn't a lot, the community would have a fucking field day attributing meaning to that new emote, right? So if a famous streamer got a global emote, which used to happen sometimes, or if an employee got a new emote, the community would then spend the next like 5 days using it in all these different contexts to eventually figure out, okay, what can we use this for to give it actual meaning? And Kappa got basically tagged as sarcasm by the community. So if you're going to be sarcastic, Kappa is sarcasm. It's like the I'm being haha sarcastic kind of emo. It's like typing in /s at the end of your sentence. It's just like using forehead, which is a different emote. That one. That's like the equivalent of saying, I'm being dumb. And saying something ironic and stupid, you put forehead at the end of it. It'd be like playing Dwarf Fortress in a haunted biome. It's just like, oh, just kill the zombies, forehead. Like that kind of thing. Like there's like, and this is actually kind of what makes me sad about current gen Twitch, is like a lot of this community stuff is just kind of gone now, and I miss it. I miss when Twitch was very much a community first kind of site, and it hasn't been that way in a very long time. No, you have to kill the zombie, and then you have to kill the zombie's arm, and then you have to kill the zombie's head, and then you have to kill the zombie's leg, and then the other's leg, and then the tooth, and then the skin, and then the hair, and then the etc. Well, you know, this dwarf's just fine, aside from the fact that there's a zombie wolf right next to him. No wonder he's not making any demands currently. Another tree caved in. Kind of surprised nobody's like caught fire yet. All the tree cave-ins. They just chilling. Are they just wolfing? Bunch of woofers. Lava vote mode for zombie smoking? Pretty much, yeah. What a strange place. It's such a good look into that world, though. But yes, what a strange place is indeed the right thing to say about it. Technically a disaster? Oh, absolutely. It's a complete failure, but it's a complete failure that's found its niche. Kind of got to respect it, I guess. Yeah, no, it's definitely an experience that is tailored to what their audience wants. Mm-hmm. It really is. I also haven't watched that video since it came out, so my moment-to-moment knowledge on the content of that video is maybe a bit old, but don't expect smooth animations or even textures loading. Yeah, and shit's gonna bug out all the time. I mean, as long as people get what they want out of a service like that, it's successful, I guess. Sorry, why did that dwarf just vault over water there? What just happened? Oh, you're going to go help kill that wolf. Wombat corpse. Where's that wombat corpse? There's the wombat corpse. Go get the wombat! The bone carver hacks the wolf corpse in the left front leg with his silver battle axe, tearing apart the muscle and bruising the bone, and a sensory nerve has been severed. He says, I must withdraw. I was attacked by the dead. I'm not upset by this. I must withdraw. Well, glad you're not upset by this. Go kill the other one. I'm surprised this dwarf down here hasn't resurrected. Something's collapsed. That's nothing abnormal. It's to be expected at this point. We'll get that in Facebook verse. I mean, for whatever I'm not arguing that Facebook will have those sorts of features, but what I will say is you can already buy prostitutes on Facebook. So because that's too meta. Haha. Yeah, I don't know. If you're talking about this as a, oh, this is why Second Life is more successful at being a metaverse than Facebook, I think you're maybe approaching this from the wrong direction. I think a dwarf just caught fire and died. Yes. One of my military dwarves. Not actually sure who. We'll find out when they show up missing. Lots of things are illegal. People do it anyway. You're also not supposed to sell drugs on Facebook. I bought weed on Facebook. There's lots of things you're not supposed to do that are illegal. Never stopped anybody. There's lots of things that are illegal. And just because that's what Second Life... Well, Second Life is more being used for phone sex, but... I'm just trying to make a point that I think that Twitch's comment of, I don't think you'll see this in the Facebook metaverse, is the wrong angle to look at that video from. Like, if you're looking at it from that angle, you are taking it from the absolute wrong way. Sure, but then why do you keep comparing it to meta? If you think it's interesting in its own way, stop comparing it to meta. Because you're ruining your own argument. It's pointless. Stop it. You're ruining your own point. TLDR. I need that smoke gone. And you're making me talk about very not Twitch-safe subjects, which is not exactly helpful to my monetization. Every now and again, people do joke about me getting demonetized. It hasn't happened yet, and I don't want it to happen. So, like, you watched the video. It's a good video. We both agree on that. Let's move on. Talking about meta gives them traffic. Giving bad websites and bad companies traffic helps them. Just delete your Facebook account and move on with your life. Problem solved. And that includes WhatsApp and Instagram. I'm trying to just cut down a forest over here. No, Insta's exactly the same as Facebook because they're the same company. You can't say that Facebook is trash, but Insta's okay. No, they're literally in the same building, dude. Hosted on the same servers, run by the same people. I know somebody who did video promotion and advertising for Facebook for years, and he also did video promotion and advertising for Instagram. Like, it's literally the same office. Well, I mean, I deleted my Facebook account and didn't open up a new one to replace it, which was the best part about it. And also, hi, Troopin. What's up? I keep telling her there are others, and I'm going to start tagging walls with Wolverine if she teases about you much more. I'll be completely honest, Zakos. If I was in that position, it would be Notion for divorce, because I am so against so many of those platforms these days. But also I have zero interest in ever getting married, so there's that. Cancels felled tree. Reason unconscious. You know, that's a valid reason to not chop down a tree, Dwarf. Doesn't matter. They have to, in order for me to trust a platform holder, they have to fix all of their platforms. You can't hold one extremely shitty platform and then just say, oh, all of their other platforms are fine. No, that's not how that works. If a company is shit, hold them accountable on all of the places that they have power. Don't just give them a free pass because one of their platforms is designed better. Yeah, it's better designed, doesn't make it better. Let's get these dwarves back inside. Turn the pumps back on. Not worth the collateral damage of these trees. Hopefully less than we're using right now, because it's bad for everybody in society as a whole. Sorry there, Dwarf. Hiya, mucho, work with blind IRL stream incompatible -sleep requirements. What? Can you translate that into normie speak for a second? I have no idea what you meant by half of that. I realize it's very ironic for somebody like me to say that social media is bad, as somebody who kind of makes his living off of social media, but I make my living off of social media because I wanted to get into radio, and unfortunately that industry went away. This is the only option I have now. But TLDR, CCJ, as long as Mark Zuckerberg is in charge of that over company, no, none of those platforms are good. Until we change the way large corporations finance themselves, it's not worth using those platforms. Or at the very least, pick your battles, right? If you are somebody like me and you want to just discount Facebook and not use any of their platforms, do that. If you want to discount Amazon and not use any of their platforms, do that. If you want to discount any of the large, omnipresent nightmare corporations, do it. But don't say fuck one part of a corporation but the other part's fine, because it's just a massive contradiction. Don't think Facebook has a chance. In what regard? All right. I don't like this conversation though, so I don't really have too much more to say. We are turning the pumps back on and also locking the doors. Oh, I know. I know, Troopin' Panda. You know, you're giving me all of these not irrelevant, but pointless counter statements, and I don't really see the point. What's your point, Frog? I tried to change the subject, and you're reinforcing it, so not sure what you want me to say exactly. Here comes the lava once again. I have no idea, and I don't really care. Stone. I just want the subject to change. It's also, like, unless you want to sit here and count every single name, I appreciate the attempt, but I don't feel like sitting here and counting every single name. This is a subject that just makes me lividly angry. And I don't think you guys want me to be mad. Right? That's not good entertainment or fun stream for anybody. Myself, you, or anybody else. It's pumping real slow. I know the frame rate got real bad again. Lock a dwarf outside, did I? So down here, we gotta get this smoothing. There it goes. I will say this, the general look of all of these dwarves, stone is very funky to me because they all have massive ears. Like, I'm not the sort of person to go yelling about elf imposters, but genuinely, if you told me that every dwarf in this fortress was actually an elf, I wouldn't actually be surprised because they all have large and pointy ears, which I think is hilarious. It's just like a weird genetic anomaly for this entire faction. Maybe it's got something to do with them, like, being locked in a mountain. Any stories being told in performances? I don't think there's a single... Oh, there's a song going on. Oh, there's a meditation on song. There's one story being told. More curious about watching the lava, though. You learned about the existence of Worm Online? To be fair, most people don't know about Worm Online. Worm Online is a horribly poorly advertised video game. Elves who believe they're dwarves. I mean, it could happen. Weirder things have happened in Dwarfort. Yeah, that you have 5,000 hours in. Well, there's two kinds of people in this world. There's those who play, those who haven't heard of Worm Online, and those with thousands of hours in it. I hadn't heard of Worm Online until it released on Steam, and then they tried to give me money to play it. And I was like, what? What is this? Never heard. What? This game came out in 2000. When? This game was made by who? So yeah, no, very strange moment in my life when I learned that Worm Online exists. Yeah, it's strange to me that they all have massive ears because I've never seen dwarves with massive ears before. I mean, it's a weird game. I've seen enough streams of it to tell you that I'm one of those people who wouldn't be able to get into it. Yeet. It's race weekend! Hi, Hobo. How are you? How's things, man? We ended up streaming for 16 hours yesterday. And then I slept for 7 and got up, ate breakfast, and turned my stream back on. It's been 3 days. The schedule is working as intended, and I am scorching the earth with lava. Naturally. Only 16, yeah. Just a nice casual 16 hours. And Twitch is currently reporting Prime revenue is double, which makes me really happy when I look at my revenue, but really sad when I actually look at my revenue. It definitely seems like the sort of game that you need like 4 people to play. One person who knows a lot about it and 2 people to get really excited. And 1 person to help. And fill in the gaps where needed. In the example of Worm Online. Okay, so This is about to get blocked off here. Meaning, I think that'll drain faster. This is still too deep to drain, though. Kind of sucks. Could probably drain it into the caverns, though. I mean, I wouldn't need to worry about... It's actually not a bad idea. Wouldn't need to worry about aquifers. I could just dig through it all and just drain all the water in there. No, I'm just saying to get into it. That's like the minimum number of people to get into Worm. Is you need about 4 people playing that are willing to dedicate time to playing in order to get into that game. It was more just like in response to what Zacho said about not being able to get into it. Looks like Medieval Second Life, but hardcore. It's more just like the original Sandbox MMO. Well, it's spelled W-U-R-M, so you missed your pun there, but I respect it, Metalhead. Me, myself, and I. Unfortunately, that only works in DF. It was intentionally? Aw, man. You know, you referring to Worm Online as Medieval Second Life makes me wonder, what the fuck's Star Citizen then? Although I wonder that all the time, unrelated to anything. Just what the fuck is Star Citizen? Like, that's just a thought that crosses my mind occasionally. Space scam. No, that's NFT games. You know, it's funny because like I feel like Star Citizen is less of a scam now because there's now significantly more effective scams. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I do kind of feel that way now. You're in good company for wondering about Star Citizen. The devs seem to ask that question regularly and get different answers. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, they still keep getting money. People haven't stopped giving them money yet, so. You know what Star Citizen is, chat? It's a very effective service thing that makes a lot of money. That's what Star Citizen is. It's a very expensive service. I'm not entirely certain what service they provide, but it is a service, and it's very successful. You don't really care about the game? I mean, it's free to play most of the time. Like, most of the time you can just jump in and play it. So, there is that. As we sit here and watch this lava slowly spread. For a second there, I thought my pump stopped pumping, and I was about to be like, what? Other space games filled that hole for you? Yeah, no, I agree. House of the Dying Sun. I need to play House of the Dying Sun. That looks neat. God. Fuck. Thank you. Fucking seasonal allergies. Holy shitballs. God damn it. Like, kicked in overnight in the past 2 days. Oh. Gonna go buy some allergy meds tomorrow. Jeez. Whew. Wait, hey. Anyway. Hi, I've come back to reality. Your missions are sort of terrorism or extermination. Yeah, I've heard really interesting things about the politics of that game. In that it's like a fun examination more than anything. Yeah, Reg got knocked into a lava pool. It happens. You felt really bad doing them? That sounds like a well-written video game. Games that make you feel bad are often games that I enjoy. The trailer of the game clearly states that your fight has no meaning. Yeah. It's just like real life. All right, so let's do this. We're going to start by going down. So I'm going to dig a drain. And we're just going to go straight down into the caverns. We're going to start up here. Good luck. Definitely wasn't visual ASMR when I sneeze. Well, I'm sorry. I'm doing my best here, okay? Not trying to, like, blast you out of existence, but it does happen sometimes. I mean, there's some pretty odd ASMR things on YouTube if you dig. I found this one that was just like odd sporadic ASMR once, which was just like somebody spouting out weird tongue twisters and doing weird hand motions. It was oddly hypnotic, but very confusing. You've dug. Keep on digging. Except like with the deer eating popcorn gif. It's on fire. Arch. It'll stare back. I usually, when I fall into ASMR abysses on YouTube, I just, after about 5 minutes, wonder why I'm not just watching porn. That's usually what happens, to be honest. It's just like, to all the people who say that this isn't a sex thing, it's a fucking sex thing. God. But how you doing today, Arch? I'm just sitting here suffering from seasonal allergies and wishing I was dead. And streaming a lot. And watching lava very slowly burninate the map. It's either arousal or confused arousal. Those are the two things I get from ASMR. Most times you just slowly fall asleep. Well, I guess it works for you then. Doesn't work for me. That's ASMR. I like rain and thunder if it's real rain and thunder. I don't like recorded rain and thunder. Just like I like someone whispering into my ear if it's an actual person whispering into my ear. If it's a video of a person whispering into a microphone at an angle that makes it feel like it's a person whispering into your ear, that's fucking weird. Oof, hobo. That's all I have to say to that. This is why my mods are trolls. I only mod trolls. I'm out of silk. God dang it. No, hobo just means ASMR. No, hobo means exactly what the fuck he said. I feel like more people are than they realize. Metalhead Fusion. For whatever it's worth. That's actually not too uncommon. There's safe for work ASMR. See, I agree with Hobo. Like, it doesn't matter the context of the ASMR. If there's somebody whispering, it's not safe for work. Like, if there's somebody whispering and it's ASMR, nope, that's straight to arousal. Doesn't matter. Like, there is no such thing as safe for work ASMR as far as I'm concerned. It just doesn't exist. Oh, this is draining. Still, slowly. Well, it's draining faster now, which is nice. Let's make ravioli. Damn straight, dude. It's the kind of arousal I can get behind. Welcome back, gay nerd. This chat brings the weird out in you. Is that good or bad? Mine's daughter, Hilja, has grown up to become a child. Oh, I see the problem. Ah! Like, that's why this ain't working. Not intentionally, that sounds painful. That's supposed to be a racing game? Do I look like a cheap stripper to you, though? I mean, come on, metalhead. You know what? I'll stop now. Uh, fair enough. And this is why Hobo's a mod and not banned, is because he knows when enough is enough. Allegedly. You still said that I look like a hooker with that sentence. You realize that, right? That's still the result of that sentence. Even though you say that I look like an expensive hooker, I still look like a hooker, so thank you. I don't know how to feel about that comment. Confused screaming is, I think, the actual response. Let's smoke some hash. I don't have any hash, though. Man, I go to lunch and I'm gone for 10 minutes. I come back and chat gets really weird. What happened? Like, kind of serious question. What the fuck happened? I think the topic of ASMR came up. Right, yeah, I sneezed, and then that's not very visual ASMR. Well, yeah, because it's visual ASMR, not auditory ASMR, obviously. Also, to be completely clear, the only reason I have the visual ASMR tag on this stream is a joke, because people used to always say that it would make their eyes bleed when I played Dwarf Fortress because the graphics are so ugly. Yeah, well, I mean, that's maybe that's why chat's weird, is because Hobo got here. So because the graphics are so ugly and Dwarf Fortress is notoriously good at making people's eyes bleed, allegedly, I thought it would be funny to put myself in the visual ASMR tag, because it's like, well, obviously visual ASMR is going to make your eyes bleed. That makes perfect sense. I mean, people haven't watched a lot of games that are way ugly, that are very ugly, whereas Dwarf Fortress is a beautiful game. So what we're going to do is we are going to drain the water that's been sectioned off down into the caverns. Actually, you know what? I could stop the water pumping, or the lava pumping. I think we should do that right now, because I don't need it. It's all sectioned off and it'll drain. So let's set this up so that it drains. Means it'll stop continuing to fill that. I've never seen it. Clearly. Yeah, you did charge straight into the convo. This is true. Head first, indeed. Let's dig down. Lava stopped pumping. Nope, never mind, still pumping. Yes, I hate them. Really, really, really don't like doing tiny embarks. Mostly because you get, like, no space to build and nothing fun. I'd rather build a small fort and a large embark than a small fort and a small embark. I've done a couple of them, and I don't really see the appeal. I didn't see the appeal in RimWorld. I didn't see the appeal in No Moria, and I don't see the appeal in Dwarf Fort. You'd think that, like, we would want map sizes in Dwarf Fortress to be bigger, not smaller. So I don't know. It's kind of lost on me, I would say. I suppose. It's one of those community things that some people like for some stupid reason. There we go. Much better. My knee's hurting right now for some reason. Stood up and immediately regretted it. So I was leaning on one leg, and it's not good for the other leg. I'm still waiting for them to invite me onto the Roundtable podcast again. They had me on twice. They just kind of stopped at a point, which I'm fine with. I don't need them to invite me on again, but... Also, chat, I need to show this off again because I think it's hilarious. This is what happens when your Discord, or when your video gets watched by a big streamer or somebody, and a whole bunch of views pile into a video all at once. I don't know why, but I find this very funny. It's just like 7 3 8 4 8 1 5 4 80 tier 4 1 3 1 3 4 2. I find that way too amusing for some odd reason. I woke up this morning and I did like a triple take and rubbed my eyes. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? And it all came from external, meaning it was probably like someone linked it. YouTube is wild sometimes. All right, so let's see. Did we finish the thing that I needed? See, it's going the wrong way. Okay, sweet. So we now have like this handy dandy little drain. It's dumping water down there. We can put a fortification right there. Let's put a let's channel that out, and then we'll put a fortification right next to it. And we're going to go up here, because I think it's right there that I need to go. Yep. I'm going to remove one tile of that. And here. And remove that tile. I'm in the wrong menu. Go back down here. Oh, and I'm going to remove that tile. There we go. So those two tiles are going to get removed, and then I'm going to channel those out as well. And then we're going to have a direct drain straight down into the caverns. Just gonna go whoosh down into the caverns, and that will drain out all of this water, and then we can very easily just run out into the moat, dig it all up, and fill up with lava. I think I'm confusing the name of that movie, by the way, Metalhead Fusion, with the name of a video game. Also, that's such a generic description that, like, I still have no idea what you're talking about. But that's okay. I'm sure that we will all live. No, the game that I'm thinking of is a futuristic sci-fi card game called Prismata. But it's just P-R-I-S with the same N. Instead of what you said, so definitely not. Lots of terrible movies were on cable TV yesterday. Also, as somebody who never had cable TV, that's not really an example, but I'm assuming that's why you saw it, so. I don't even know if I have that block. They'll cancel it if they don't, so. Is anybody building a thing? There's somebody. No idea how I actually acquired a rutile block. This is me being a bad person. I'm getting rid of my livestock. I'm falling down into like the last few, like, okay, what the heck wrong with frame rate? Scary how much luck affects the success of small games. Vampire Survivors. That's all I'll say. Like, I don't know, man. I've played dozens of games that are better than that. That are the same price, if not free. That should be bigger than that game. I remember Phantom Dust. Vaguely. And not because I ever played it. Oh, shit. Why are you outside, Catan? Dang it. Gotta open the door back up. This is not a good fort to get locked out of because you're locked out of there with zombies everywhere. Let's just put... Let's just put slate in there. Doesn't matter. Something. Yeah, I remember Phantom Dust purely because they were going to remaster it for a minute there, and then they didn't. Oh no! You're fighting with an eagle corpse. Come on, you got this. Come on, Dwarfy. Hang in there. It's just an eagle corpse. You're on top of it. You're probably punching it. It's just missing the administrator. Wait, hold on. Are you part of a military squad, admin? You're part of the Bulbous Tongs. Okay, the Bulbous Tongs kill eagle corpse. Get him. Became a Axe Dwarf briefly, and now is back to being an admin. You mean the Counter-Strike map? It was too niche? That was before its time. Some games just weren't successful due to a myriad of reasons. I mean, what kind of... Dude, I played counters... I have, like, 4,000 hours in CS Source. Of course I remember it does. Bobtron, what up? Good to see you. 1.6 in Source. I never played Go, though. Fuck Go. Counter-Strike was great when it was pure, before it was filled up with all the microtransaction crap. Someone start a populated Warcraft mod surf server for Counter-Strike Source mod. See, that's the reason Source died, is because everybody just played surf. Back in my day, I actually hated surf servers because, and I guess I never fully got it. I just wanted to play actual Counter-Strike. Chops, you have a good night. Sleep well. Cheers, mate. Oh, well, they didn't build that. You know what? Let's just cancel that. Where's the fun of the risk and discovery of, you know, just saying, fuck it, let's have an open hole into the caverns. Hey, Kachapan, what's up? Doing all right. And yourself? A really slow ninja? That's strange. This map's gotten hot. Like, real hot. Also, Stone, since you were asking earlier, are you telling stories? No, not currently. I need to wait until people start telling stories. What I really need is I need the frame rate of this fortress to get better, but I'm starting to think it's not going to. So that I can actually, like, enjoy the stories in this fort. But unfortunately, it's just like a constant battle against the frames for this one. Happens sometimes, but I'm hoping that maybe having less water physics will also help by, like, removing all of this water. But I don't know. So we're letting this water start draining here. We're also going to drain this up here. That is something I've realized. I don't actually know all that much about the songs of this world. The frames did get better, though, when I was initially burning things, which is weird. I'm not going to answer that question because you know the answer to that question, Metalhead. Or you should know the answer to that question. I would think it would be pretty self-explanatory. Dumb moment for you? I mean, it's one of those, like, I think about it. I don't know. What would I possibly be talking about? Earth or Dwarf Fort? Definitely Earth. I know nothing about the songs of this world we live in. Nothing. I'm definitely not an obsessive music fanatic. Absolutely. There we go. So, now this side's going to drain real quick. Or hopefully quick enough. It's not actually flowing that quick. But it's flowing quick enough. Considering this is already at, like, what, 6 of 7 for most of this? Should drain pretty fast. Your DAW to make DF music, and it's surprisingly complicated and very, very detailed. It's one of your favorite things about the game. Yeah, if you generate anything cool, you should post it on the DF subreddit or the forums, because there's a few people that will write songs using Dwarf Fortress words and Dwarf Fortress beats generated within the game. It's like another part of the game that I know I will never be able to fully appreciate is the poetry, because I know absolutely fuck all about poetry. But I love the existence of the hyper-detailed poems in Dwarf Fort. Also, this side is 3 of 7, so it is draining. And it's draining at a pretty rapid pace, actually. Oh, man, we got another zombie. Let's... rock, armor. Make an armor stand and plop it out there and train my military out front. Because the next thing that we need to do once this water drains is we need to channel out a huge chunk of this so we can make a proper lava moat. But we need to wait for like this to be drained enough that we can pour lava into it and it won't turn into obsidian, obviously. I mean, I often have existential dumb moments, so it makes 2 of us, Metalhead. Also good wins, Space Pirate and Stone. So when you say you set up your DAW, are you using samples, or are you like trying to customize sounds based on the, or are you trying to customize sounds based on the instruments in your world? You listen to Sisters of Mercy all day? I would be listening to that all the time if I did that. When I got existential sadness. When I get existential sadness, I just listen to a lot of shoegaze. Generally. let's see what's going on. Pray, pray, listen to poetry. Lonesome Festivals is an example of the orbs of meditating. The work has no particular subject, the writing is quite self-indulgent, and it's very, very bad. You don't see very, very bad very often. The orbs of meditating is a poetic riddle originating in the Crimson Pulley. The rules of the form are applied by poets to produce individual poems which can be recited. The poem is a single couplet of use of internal rhyme and consonants. And it is characteristic of the form of parallelism. Parallelism. Words I don't know exist. Is common throughout the poem, in that certain lines have similar grammatical structures. The ending of each line of the poem shares the same rhyme. The second line of the couplet reverses the grammatical structure of the first line, and the first line intended to make a concession. It has 10 syllables, and the second line is intended to make an assertion, and it has 8 syllables. I would like to see somebody try to write a poem within the rules of Dwarf Fortress, though. I feel like that could be super neat, if done well. Do I not have a rock stockpile down here? I should fix that. I thought I did, but I guess I don't. I like barbecue peanuts. If I had to pick a favorite like method of eating peanuts, it'd be barbecue roasted peanuts. Yeah, I messed with Reaper for like 20 minutes and then went back to FL Studio. If I want to use a, what's it called? If I want to use a software DAW, I'm going to use FL Studio. Barbecue roasted peanuts are my favorite format of peanut, but isn't just plain peanut. Reaper's okay. It's nice because it's accessible and easy to get your hands on. Do I need to do the as a diabetic line again? Because as a diabetic, things with unnecessarily large amounts of sugar, like peanuts with honey, are just pain. So, sure, I prefer more salty snacks. So your statement of everything else is incorrect because I have my opinion is the most insufferably stupid thing you could say as a human being. It's okay. But if you were sorry, you would have been more tactful in the first place. It's fine, but you're allowed to like things. It's okay to not like things. But don't be a dick about it. Allow me to direct you to possibly some of the greatest life advice on the internet of all time. I just need to search for the thing. YouTube 10 years ago understood everything. Also, I play it on stream, but believe it or not, the owner of that video DMCA's people. I believe you. I'm just giving you a hard time, dude. As somebody who doesn't like Ableton, that's a massive turnoff. Don't like the workflow of Ableton. I've used Ableton for a few things, but I don't like software DAWs generally. I've never used one that, like, I don't have some sort of weird esoteric problem with. Every single one I've ever used, it's been like, all right, this is great, but, like, what if it did this instead? And I feel that way about all of them that I've used. Like, well, this is great, and this is great, and this is great, but what if it was better like this? I mean, I'd go DAWless if I had unlimited money, but unfortunately I don't. I have a very limited amount of money, and I use it very sparingly. Okay, let's turn this lava pump back on. No reason to have it off. Doesn't save frames having it off, and might as well just leave it on. Yeah, I mean, I have access to multiple cassette recorders. I have 5 cassette decks in my house right now. And a boombox, unrelated to the other 5. Because people keep giving them to me. People learn really quickly that you like analog audio gear when you own it, and then suddenly it's just like every member of your family's like, hey, do you want a tape deck? Do you want a record player? It's been sitting in my basement for 15 years, and I'm like, yeah? Suddenly I just had all of this money in hardware that I didn't pay for. So I've been trying to find homes for them. All right, let's slam that down, pick you up. How's the fort going? Very slow. But aside from that, good. We are burninating the surface, which is lovely. And trying to drain this moat so that we can replace it with lava. But it's still going very slowly. Not sure if your dwarf's still alive. Oh, I know you are. You're satisfied at work, and you are restless after being unable to practice martial art, and you don't feel anything. So that's good. You're 72, still muscular. Personally believes the idea of war is utterly repellent and would have peace at all costs. Competition is wasteful, exceeds competition is reasonably important, and values romance and doesn't particularly value loyalty, and doesn't really see the point of working hard. Dreams of creating a great work of art. Doing all right, I'd say. You're a great mason. Not every dwarf, but a lot of dwarfs. Usually they're just hardened individuals by that point. But yes, aside from this fortress running very slowly, things have been pretty good. I'm just trying to drain all of this water down into the caverns, which is taking forever. Just hide all of this? I don't even know what's down here anymore. But yeah, I've been trying to diagnose frame rate problems for the last, like, I don't know, 10 hours of gameplay time. Which kind of sucks. But is what it is. In the process of building a library. Which is pretty fun. Placing more tables and all that jazz. Because this over here is going to be my library. Which kind of looks like a weird submarine, I'm going to be honest. I have some multicolored chairs in here, it looks like. Yep. That's fine. Just cancel these ones. Keep the chairs more coherent. All slate. But how's Jack Newick today? How's your day been going? What's up, Raz? I tried to make a garbage chute with lava at the bottom, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. Fortunately, it created clouds of steam that blew up everywhere, and then switched whatever Dwarf was. Yeah. Well, it's lava mist that it creates. If you're gonna do that, it does work great. Sorry, it does work great, but you have to make it go down like 10 Z levels. You have to make it. You have to give them a pretty high amount of space. Because yes, if it's only like 1 or 2 Z levels, it will absolutely scorch whoever throws stuff into lava. Lava is great, albeit very dangerous. It's safer than water, though. Which is very strange, but strange in the way that Dwarf Fortress is strange, so. Only strange until you're not used to it. Until you're used to it, and then it stops being as strange. Let's do something like this. But yeah, I've done like the same exact thing. I had a volcano fort once, and I was using a small lava chute for garbage, but eventually I had to transfer it from a small lava chute into a minecart that they'd push down a hallway, which would dump in and then bounce back. Probably like actually my favorite use for minecarts ever was that. Was just like the little chute with lava at the bottom, and it would just dump items into the lava. That was super convenient and helpful. Oh, hell yeah. Jack Knight, that's good. Also, I've been streaming for almost 8 hours. Damn. Time flies. Who the heck is digging that channel? Oh, there you are. Cutest ghost is. But yeah, no. Probably gonna make the rest of my gnocchi tonight unless I end up eating dinner on stream again. In which case, then I'll just have the same pasta I've had the last 2 days. Which is fine, it's just kind of like nutrient paste, I'll be honest, at this point, because it's been in the fridge for, this is day 3. I'd swear that that album was already out, but maybe that was just the single that I was thinking of. I've kind of not fallen off of King Gizzard, but I've stopped listening to their stuff as much as I did previously. I really, really, really like a handful of their albums, and I find that a lot of their other stuff, it's not that it's not good, it's just, it's not what I really want to listen to. It's just not been the vibe recently, I guess. Maybe the best way to put it. Have I tried sweet potato gnocchi? Unless there's somebody that you know named Sweet Potatoes who makes gnocchi. I haven't tried their gnocchi specific, but I have made gnocchi using sweet potato, yes. This particular gnocchi is a squash-filled gnocchi made using plain old russet potatoes. But yes, I have in fact made gnocchi with sweet potatoes before. Okay, that's probably why. Because I saw the album art pop up. I was like, I swear that they already released this, but... Well, I mean, I also am much more excited about the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets album that's dropping soon. Because you can now pre-order the physical editions if you haven't already done that on their website, which I already have. Oh crap, spawn ship. You're all talking about food again? This happens about every 6 hours on the stream, I think. It's like about every 6 hours we have a very detailed discussion. But chat, I want to know your opinions. What's your favorite thing to put on a bagel? Go. Salmon and cream cheese. Smoked salmon and cream cheese. You can't beat it. That's my opinion. If you want to get fancy, put some capers on it. Smoked salmon, plain cream cheese, and capers. Best thing to put on a bagel. I love how I make a food opinion and within 5 lines of text I get called a monster. Don't you just love the internet? People are so kind and courteous and understanding of other people's opinions. I don't like bacon very much, so.
Cheese for everyone!
You use the bagel to make breakfast sandwich, so eggs and bacon? Fair enough. See, someone understands. Only joking? It's only funny when there's a punchline. If you just insult somebody, it's not funny. Like, you can't just say, "You monster!" Oh, it's a joke. I'm sorry. That's... What? Bread with a hole. How have you never seen a bagel before? What strange planet do you live on? You have, for text, you gotta put like a kappa or something. Otherwise, it's just read like an insult. Pretty sure we literally had this discussion an hour ago. Spain? Spain doesn't have bagels? That's ridiculous. Spain, get with the program. Christ. Yeah, right? It's like half of... the problem is, Hobo, is Twitch chat has become full of normies as of late. And everybody is new to Twitch. So nobody knows, like, how to, like, communicate on Twitch anymore. It's really sad. I would tend to agree with that, yeah. Hambloco. Yeah, but, like, there's a difference between knowing what a bagel is and them being uncommon. And, yeah, you'd be shocked how, like, aggressive people can get over food comments, though, CCJ. Like, I've legit had people rage quit Discord calls because of how I like pizza. So, yeah. Like, heated arguments over food is not too uncommon, so. But there's a difference between being aware of something that exists and it not being common and, like, never seeing it before. I'm from Canada, so I like ham and pineapple pizza. And if the first person to call me a monster or insult me over that take is getting timed out. Consider that a threat. Not the best, that's fine. I also don't like meat lovers pizza. I think it's kind of gross. If you only put meat on your pizza, I genuinely think that's, like, a little bit revolting. Just diluted? Asshole. Streaming and salmon go together? I'm confused. What? Traditional margarita pizza is great if you have a traditional good pizza place around. I don't. If I ever have to eat mayo again, I will die. I hate mayo. You have like 5 perks of living in a city? Depends on the city. I mean, there are good pizza places. I just have to actually get on the train to go to good pizza places. Yeah, I've never liked mayo. I don't like the texture. I don't like the smell. I don't like the flavor. There isn't a single thing I like about mayo. Too drunk and high to spell words, right? Fair enough. Here we go again. I like mayo as an ingredient in things. Like, if you are adding mayo as a sauce thickener or something, or you're putting something else in it, fine. But plain mayo by itself, I do not like the flavor in the slightest. Like, there are some people that will just, like, slather mayo on everything and talk about it like it's really tasty, and I'm just like, I want to throw up. But, you know. Is like a fantasy's creature's congealed jizz. Well, jizz doesn't really congeal, it more dries. But fair enough. It's more like pus, but I'll give you that. It's the fantasy creature? Sure. What's my go-to spread? Am I a ketchup guy? You don't know me well at all, Christ.
Let's take a lovely fruit, the tomato. Remove everything that's good from it, the seeds, the vitamins, the nutrients.
You are
everything
new
that's good
here.
about it, and just jam it full of shit, garbage, shit sugar, and put it in a shit bottle that sounds like shit when you put it on your shit. It's shit! Stop eating ketchup!
That's true. You should stop eating ketchup. Tomato sauce is fine. Tomato paste is fine. Stop putting sugar in tomato. What the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, no, ketchup is literally banned on my Discord. Like, that is the only rule. I needed to make a rules room and add rules to my Discord in order to maintain Discord partner before they removed it anyway. And so I made rules, and the only rule on my Discord is ketchup is illegal, and be cool. So, how do I feel about barbecue sauce is fine. And yes, I'm aware that there's barbecue sauce in the ketchup in barbecue sauce. But ketchup, again, it's fine as an ingredient. I don't want to eat it by itself. And I cleaned fast food restaurants for a living for almost a decade. You are indeed new. But honestly, as far as the ketchup thing goes, I don't actually understand where it came from or why I don't like it. I just never have a memory of enjoying ketchup. Like some of my earliest memories are me being a little kid, barely able to see over the table, and being absolutely disgusted when people put ketchup on my plate. I don't know. I'm just I don't know. Just always hated it. It's just Same with mayo. It's the exact same thing. There's never been a point in my life where I can recall enjoying that substance. Until it was black? That's concerning because that's a lot of pepper. I like good mustard. Although here's the thing that you need to know about me. I'm an adult, so all of these things that I've talked about that I hate, I'll eat them if they're handed to me. I just don't like them. I don't like yellow mustard, so I don't like cheap mustard, but you give me a spicy mustard or like a proper mustard, yeah, I like mustard. Like if it's like mustard seed paste, yeah, I'm down. I'll eat that all day. Fuck yeah. Dijon mustard in a pretzel, that shit's great. Yellow mustard or whatever that edible plastic crap is, yeah, Heinz can go fuck itself. Fancy can also go fuck itself. Fancy is the brand that all the fast food restaurants in Canada use. So like shitty mustards, just fuck. I mean, at the end of the day, barbecue sauce is basically just fancy ketchup, right? Like, if we're gonna like get down to brass tacks, it's basically what barbecue sauce is. I like barbecue sauce. I like a spicy barbecue sauce. I like teriyaki. I like all that shit, but like there's tomato paste in most of that stuff. A dwarven child has been possessed. I will let you do your thing and jump to you again when you block things. Yeah, curry mustard, absolutely. All that stuff's good, but the second it's like by itself with just like it's just an excuse to put more sugar on things, and I really hate that. I don't really like hyper sweet things. But does beer mustard? It sounds like beer batter or like beer cheese, which again, I also don't really know what that stuff is. Although there's a brewery that used to have a restaurant that closed before the pandemic. Or around the time the pandemic started, their restaurant closed. And they've never reopened their restaurant, so this menu doesn't exist anymore. But they used to have a chocolate cake that had a chocolate icing on it that was made using their imperial stout. So it was like chocolate icing made with imperial stout beer. And it was one of the greatest things I think I've ever had in my life. The only problem is you eat this chocolate cake and you're drunk by the end of it. Assuming that's the problem. The issue is most people order that chocolate cake while they're already drunk, and by the time they finish the chocolate cake, they are obliterated on the way out the door. It was always very amusing. Okay, let's follow this child. You could look this beer up because I had this on Friday. I went to a brewery called Twin Sails with my dad last Friday for my dad's birthday. And one of the beers that we had there was a imperial barrel-aged stout called Gold Foil. Do they give them tissues for happy tears? I hope so. Alcoholic desserts are super underrated. I wouldn't say they're underrated. I would argue that they're perfectly well rated, but yes, alcoholic desserts are delicious. Oh my god, is this child going? Oh, they're going in the wrong direction. Boo! Where are you headed? Crafts, maybe? No. It's mustard where instead of white wine, you add beer when you grind the mustard seed? Huh. You know, actually, Hobo's the person who could probably tell you how to make half of these things, because Hobo is a chef. Hobo is a trained culinary expert. He could actually probably tell you how to make half these things. Also, the fuck's a nipple of Venus? You said that like that's something I should know what it is, and I have no idea what that is. What the heck is that? Okay, you are going for that craft store shop. I'm disappointed, but fair. Trained expert. Yes, Hobo. You do work in a restaurant, last I checked, unless you've changed your career in the last 6 weeks. Restaurant/store. You do work around food. Allegedly. Very old school European dessert that uses brandy. I like how the only detail that we have is brandy, and you're just like, sounds tantalizing. Like, we don't actually know anything about it. All we know is that it has brandy in it. I used to know a girl named Brandy, and she was cute. She was nice, Miss Brandy. I wonder what she's up to these days. Something sugar, something something alcohol, something something sugar, something something alcohol. Yes. You do have a degree hung up somewhere that says culinary arts. Was Brandy a fine girl? I felt really bad for Brandy, actually. Her mom was possibly the worst human being I've ever met. I mean, also, they named their kid Brandy, so. But yes, she was cute. True, it is named after a nipple, so I guess it better be tantalizing. I don't know why a planet would have a nipple, but I know it's a god. Probably not the same girl. Highly doubtful, unless you live in, like, small town Canada. You had a dog named Brandy? Yeah, it's a fitting dog name. This fort is almost starting to test my patience because of how slowly it runs. What do you think mountains are? Giant piles of rock? What do you think they are, sir? Sheesh. And dirt. And soil. No, that's a pimple. It's actually, I would honestly argue that, like, volcanoes are closer to pimples because they're caused by, like, tectonic plates crashing together and going. And then it gets a bubble underneath and goes. They just take thousands of years. Whereas a pimple takes like 72 hours. Like the one I have up here. It's driving me nuts. I don't even want to think about how laggy this fort would be in adventure mode. I wonder how many dwarves are back up in Mothfall. 300? Hotbeards? 600? Good stuff. What's going on in the world right now? I've been kind of isolated recently. You know, I'll bet you we could go invade these guys again. Could start doing that again. Once we get the lava mode set up. So this is an email that I just got from the Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. They announced all their pre-orders publicly today, and I get this email. We've got some good news and bad news. The good news is that our records have been slightly... The good news is that our records have been slightly delayed in production, so you'll have a few extra days of excitement waiting for the mailman to arrive. That's also the bad news. We're expecting orders to begin shipping around May 20th. That's not bad. They were supposed to start shipping around May 1st, so that's... around May 20th, 2022. This is the most PPC email ever. We're sorry for this inconvenience, but rest assured, we are doing our dandiest to get them off to you safe and sound. Is there an unlurk command? You just found it. Start talking again. Woo! Good news, lads. Order 2039420, wow, is ready for pickup at the post office. Hey, that's great. For translation's sake, that means my Black Screen Records order is ready for pickup, and we will have more records for the next stream. Yes, you found... Chat, we all know that Aqua has stopped lurking, yeah? You heard invade as and bathe. I mean, sure. How's the fort going? Yeah, really slowly is probably going to be my answer for this one for a while. Until I figure out what the hell's going on with the frames. It's like, how's the frame rate? Come on and slam. And welcome to the jam. Well, the FPS counter is not a DF hack feature. That's a vanilla feature. But I don't have the FPS counter because chat gets super cynical whenever FPS gets bad. So I find it more annoying than not. Like, it annoys me because it annoys chat, so. Because there's, believe it or not, a lot of people who don't play Dwarf Fortress who watch this stream. And so they tune in and they immediately fall into old school Total Biscuit memes, which I respect, but also, you know, when the frame rate's at like 30 or whatever, and people are like, oh, the frames are so bad in this game. It's like, this is actually perfectly playable. So, you know, we are hovering between roughly 10 to 25 right now. Which is weird, because the last time the frame rate got decent in this map was when we were burning half of the map. Rest in peace. TB. We can pretend the number of idlers is FPS. It's actually not too far off right now. Based on the speed that this child is moving. Yeah, I will always remember the day that TB passed away because I was streaming at the time when the news came out. And I literally saw it pop up on Twitter, didn't say a word, stood up from my computer, walked over to the fridge, grabbed a beer, came back over, sat back down, started drinking. Total Biscuit passed away. I forget that day. Sad day. Still go back and watch his videos sometimes. A lot of the work that I do is probably because of him. I don't think I would be doing this as a job if I hadn't run into his stuff. I mean, I might have, but I don't know. Total Biscuit was the person who kind of made me go, yeah, I could do this. If I make it to a point where I have, like, 1% of the influence that he had, I will consider myself a success. Which, you know, I've probably pulled off at this point. Maybe not 1%, maybe 0.5. I met him once for about 10 seconds at a TwitchCon. He was on his way to the, or rather, I was in the Warframe booth with a friend because I was hungry, and the Warframe booth had free food. And so my friend, who was a Warframe partner, was like, hey, you want to go to the Warframe booth and get food? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we went and got food, and we were hanging out there eating chips and cookies because that was the food that they had, and granola bars, and water, and coffee, which was very nice. And he walked in to do his live stream. It was one of the last, like, sponsored convention streams he did. He just walked in and said something about, where's my booth? And then, like, 10 people said, John, big fan. And he goes, hi, everybody. Hello, hello. And he walked off and went and did his stream. Although people have refilled that niche. You know, now we have... Whoop. That was weird. I just that's okay. I opened up Discord and Discord decided to restart the literal second I tabbed over to Discord, and I thought it crashed. It didn't. It just restarted for some reason. All right. Thanks for updating, I guess, Discord. It just startled me when I did it. But yeah, no. As far as like that style of content goes, I mean, Splattercat more or less fills that now. And then the more analytical stuff is filled by people like Mandy, and like that audience has moved on, and there are people with similar amounts of influence. That's an undead bird fighting with a child who's trying to make an artifact. That's terrifying. Come on, kid. You got this. So like people have definitely filled that niche back up, but it is still kind of sad. I was listening to I still listen to the Cox and Crendor podcast, which is Jesse Cox and Crendor's podcast, which I've listened to since the very first episode, and they've done a stupid number of episodes of that show now, and it's still going somehow. But there was one episode where Jesse was just, like, venting about, like, talking with YouTube business planners, because when you're big and famous on YouTube, YouTube hooks you up with actual, like, business planners that give you, like, advice based on, like, where YouTube's at the time. And he was complaining about them because he's just, like, he's like, so I got this new planner, right? And her advice was, well, you used to do all of these collaborations with other channels. Why don't you keep doing those? Because your channel performed a lot better back in those days. And his response to it literally was, and he like reworded it for the podcast, obviously, because I don't have the recording of the actual conversation. But what he said was essentially just, yo, all of my friends that used to do YouTube full-time that I used to collaborate with either A, quit, B, died, or C, are on Twitch full-time and don't put YouTube videos up anymore. And he's like, can I still collaborate with them on Twitch? And it's like, man, I kind of feel that to a degree, because it's just like all of the people that I used to collaborate with back at the beginning that I don't collaborate with anymore, that gave me boosts at the start of content, either A, quit, B, don't stream anymore, or C, are dead. And I can think of like people that fit every single one of those molds. It's the, man, I've been making content for too long feeling. But it's just such a strange thought to think about. I don't know why I'm getting all fucking reminiscent about TV now. But I don't know. I actually get to feel like I'm building something now with Halcyon, which is cool. This fort is way too fucking laggy. Need to kill another bird head over there on the outside, just next to the drawbridge. And over there. See how the draining's going. Doesn't feel like it's draining. I know I'm starting to get worried that it's like not actually draining and instead just like filling from somewhere. I mean, that's like been most of this fortress for the last 2 days. Like, as much as I like this fortress and as cool as this design is, I might actually just retire this fortress at some point pretty soon, just purely to get frame rate back. I could also try retiring it and reclaiming it. Admittedly, then I'd have to unfuck its mess up, because it'll be a serious mess when I come back, but based on all the items we have too. Try to find all of the cloth items hiding in the lava. Oh, you mean if I come back after retiring the fort? Why would I need to try to find all of the cloth items hiding in the lava? Am I missing something? Like, is there something that you know that I don't? Which is definitely possible, but... Oh, after unretiring. I mean, you just wouldn't. That's kind of just a fact. You just wouldn't. Like, all of those items would be gone. The actual concern that I would have would be where all the water would respawn and where all the lava would respawn. All of the items would be scattered, wouldn't they? Not just some. All of them. Yeah, well, the game doesn't know where liquids are. They just know that the liquids were present. So all of this lava on the surface might just be in my tavern when I reload. Because dwarves that aren't controlled by a player don't understand how a stockpile works. And this is a problem. You shouldn't be walking down here. Child? You're making me nervous here, buddy. Go back up, please. Please tell me you're just grabbing that log right there and not walking past it. Okay. You're giving me anxiety, Dwarf. Just go back to whence you came. What's up? Wait, what? Let him fall. I mean, if he gets washed into the caverns, that would be kind of funny. It would be rather amusing. Especially since it would happen in slow-mo. It would be very amusing, yes. We should plug this. We should put a slate blocks over top of it. Fix that problem. Thank you. Also, shit's burning again. Because I got the lava spreading. This is actually, like, very efficient. Look at that. I'm so proud of this fort. But how's your day going? Wait, what? I was just reminiscing about Total Biscuit and rambling. But then again, I, as of right now, have streamed 36 hours in 3 days. So, I think it's slightly understandable for me to be somewhat brain mush by this point. Although my voice is almost entirely returned, and that's good. It's had lots of exercise today, though. Yeah, also to anybody who's new to the channel, because I've noticed I've gotten a couple follows in the last few hours. I stream Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays. But I stream about 12 to 14, sometimes 16 hours each of those days. We stream a lot of Dwarf Fort, traditional roguelikes, and other weird games. That's what I do. And then the rest of the week, stuff goes up on the YouTube channel, which can be found here. Including a combination of VODs from the stream and stuff that I do myself about more weird games that you probably haven't heard of. Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen after you've played it for years, in fact. That game has a tendency to do that to people. Wait, what? Feels like everybody just went off and bought Tarkov all at once. Did Tarkov, like, get huge updates recently or something? One thing that I think is hilarious is how everybody talks about how Dwarf Fortress is so hard and daunting and scary and hard to learn. And then, by the way, I was playing Tarkov. Turkey Gobbler Bone, Billin Bars, Conglomerate, Iron Bars, Slate, Sheep's Wool, Apple Wool, or Apple Wood, not Apple Wool, and Llama Wool Cloth. Making slate coffers, meaning I can place coffers in bedrooms that don't have coffers yet. Can also put coffers in the tavern. unsuspend that. Yeah, I'm not into gun porn, so... let's just deconstruct all this. Just move stuff. Trying to just make looms and put them down here. I just kind of want things to be a little bit more organized. Probably because there's a lake nearby. Or just keep digging into it and find out the hard way. Usually what I do if I find damp stone in a weird spot is I dig up 2 or 3 layers and then dig over and then dig down above where it's damp. Because either A, there is an aquifer there, or B, there's an underground lake there. It's one of the two. And it's always one of the two. And it's one of those you don't know until you find out. And you might not want to find out. You can embark on multiple biomes, and you could very easily have embarked on multiple biomes. That actually is quite a common occurrence. So it is entirely likely that not only there is an aquifer, but multiple, if you didn't check every biome on the embark. Which is a certain possibility. Like this biome, this embark that I'm on right now, is technically 3 different biomes. It's technically 3 different major zones. Even though they're all identical. With some slight variation. So, absolutely, it could theoretically be an aquifer on that zone. It could also be an underground lake. Yeah, there's also that. But I don't know, dig into it and find out. That'll probably answer your question. Just might not necessarily be the answer that you want. Like, I'm starting to think this is auto-filling from somewhere that I'm not aware of. That's a suspicion I'm starting to have, which is actually why I turned the lava back on. What is that? Oh. Mangled eagle head. Well, good to know that you're burning. And gone now. There's no longer a mangled eagle head there. There is a fire there, however. I'm actually getting followers on Twitter right now, and it's weirding me out. I think I got more followers today on Twitter than I have in the last year. Also, I'm curious about something, which requires me muting audio. Hold up. Okay, check the thing. You have an underground lake, honestly? I mean, if you're close to where caverns would be normally, it might actually just be caverns. You might have hit caverns. Hey, chat, guess who just offered me money? Guess what sponsor just offered me money? You have 3 guesses. Chat room. Combined amongst yourselves. I guarantee you can get it right. Nope. Rockfire. Hobo got it. I mean, if you're offering me money, I'll take it. Gachapon. Like, if you want to offer me... Second Life is banned on Twitch, so they're smarter than that. You can't actually stream Second Life on Twitch. You will get banned from the website. No, you got it right the first time. Raid Shadow Legends just offered me money. Again! They sent me a reminder email in case I missed the other one from yesterday. Because they sent me one yesterday morning. And then... today they were just like, hey, did you miss it? We're offering you money. It's hashtag Raid Shadow Legumes. Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends, the best video game in the world. Or whatever. Raid is oppressive as hell. That's an understatement. I should just set Raid Shadow Legends as blocked terms on my email. I should really do that. So any emails that include the terms Raid Shadow Legends in one word, just auto-blocked. Oh, I'm out of slate. Interesting. I guess I could just use slate boulders, but... how do I rip all the excess stone? I use it. I mean, I guess theoretically you could, like, do what I do in Long Death, which is just make it all into crafts and then give it to the humans. Which is what I do in Long Death. But in general, I just use it. I think it's time to reroute this. And reroute it to over here on this side. You rip all the excess stone. Sorry, stone, not you. Is that a dead goblin? It really is, yeah, okay. I mean, you're about to catch fire. Halt and burn goblin. Cool. But yeah, generally I just use it. That is my actual, like, result. Is usually I just use it for something eventually. It's a weird place to get copper from. Copper from the surface. Heh. Czar. You know, I've suddenly just gained this really weird itch to play Jupiter Hell. I don't know why. Sometimes that just happens, I think. Shotgun King made you want to play Jupiter Hell? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, okay. I mean, maybe that's it. Playing a good roguelike is just like, I want to play another good roguelike, you know? Talking about guns? I don't know. Like, the guns in Jupiter Hell are so out of this world silly that I don't really associate them with real guns. but sure, I guess. Pauline's probably asleep at this point, but that was also like way back at the start of the stream. It's actually kind of funny. Like this stream started off like explosively quick with a hype train, and I think that's all of like since it's like I had a hype train 8 hours ago, right? Right at the start of the stream, and a bunch of gifted subs, and then one resub since then, and it's been 5 hours since any kind of money has come into the stream. Kind of funny. Today was very front-loaded. 16 hours ago, according to notification. Okay, well, that was technically this morning, but that was last night, yes. That would have been about 1 o'clock in the morning for me. Right when I was ending. Because it was right when I was like, I'm the FG squared waiting room, and then it was like, bunch of gift subs. So I was still kind of close, but yeah, then this morning's just started off fast and hot, and then it's been quiet since, which is fine. Been a chill day. We are good. Mentally, absolutely. It still comes with its normal stresses. Like any kind of big shift in work, I think is always going to be stressful. And I maybe just picked a bad month to shift my schedule. Apparently I don't have a metal bars stockpile. That's bad. Maybe I just picked a bad month to shift my schedule, but putting it bluntly, money is very stressful this month. This past week's been good, but the other 2 weeks have been like slow, but like kind of normal slow. So financially it's stressful so far, but not like bad stressful, just kind of a kind of thing. But overall it's been positive, yes. I've liked the new schedule. I would say it's the least depressed I've been in recent memory, which is pretty good. Like, me stating that I haven't been suicidal in 2 weeks is a good thing. Actually, more than 2 weeks. About a month and a half now. Which is good. So. It's really weird, because, like, every person I've spoken with is just like, 3 streams a week, but 14 hours a day. How are you not, like, super stressed out and exhausted and tired? I'm like, I don't know. One of the nicest things about this schedule so far is people actually raid me because I'm not on as often, right? Like, instead of being on like 6 or 5 or 7 times a week, I'm only on 3 days a week. So I actually get raids now, which is weird. Like, that's maybe the strangest thing about the schedule shift is people actually fucking raid me now. Because they're just like, well, you're not on as much, so we gotta say hi more often. It's like, why didn't you do that before? It's like I'd go like a month without a raid previously, and now it's like, well, I'm on 3 times a week, so like I guess like this reverse psychology of like, oh, Blind's not on as much, we should raid him more, has like been a very positive effect. So I don't know. It's been weird. It's had some odd effects. I get to see certain people more often because I'm on so late. Like anybody who watched me from Australia, like basically I used to end my stream around now, right? But we have like 4 hours left, realistically, right? And anybody who was in a time zone where, like, you're waking up around now, basically couldn't watch my stream previously. You have a good night, Stone. Cheers, dude. Aban Ostrith, the Dwarven Child, has created Lemlor Cordeleg, a turkey bone mace. That is awesome, and claims it is an heirloom in the name of the family ancestor, Cyril Inkscrape. So if anybody wants to draw an artifact, or render an artifact, or make fan art of an artifact, please do this one, because a turkey bone mace is just like a weaponized turkey leg, and I love this. It's worth 65,640 zethal, and it's called Fancy Shell. Excellent. This is a turkey bone mace. All craftsdwarfship is of the highest quality. It is studded with iron and decorated with sheep's wool and glumprong, and encircled with bands of turkey bone and bilin, and this object menaces with spikes of conglomerate, steel, slate, and applewood, and llama wool. Have a Renaissance fair in this motherfucker, pretty much, right? Like, that is fantastic. Here's the thing, right? It's not been that bad, right? Like it's been a slow month, but I'm attributing the slow month in my brain to the new schedule, not to it just being a normal slow month, because it has kind of just been a normal slow month so far, Axon. So it's not actually that. It hasn't been that bad, but it's been about 20% slower than a normal month, I would say. But also everybody I know has had a slow month this month. So probably not unique to me. So don't be too sorry. It's fine. But I mean, stream's not going anywhere. I mean, you see, here's the thing. If this schedule does prove to be financially unstable, which I don't think it will, I have a feeling what's going to happen is I will make slightly less money for a couple of months. And then it'll balance itself out because my YouTube channel's been doing a lot better because I can actually make shit for YouTube specifically more consistently. I have a feeling that it'll eventually just balance itself out. But, you know, there's growing pains with anything. Any kind of shift in priority in business is always going to have growing pains. So currently we're just in growing pains. I think it'll be fine. Like, I see this schedule as significantly more sustainable mentally than any other schedule I've done in the last 5 years. Especially because I actually get raids. And assuming the raids keep up. Can I just say that this is a great tweet about Postal 4? Look, my only problem with Postal 4 so far is that it won't load the opening level on any of my computers. That's very funny. That is very funny. Something is fighting? Things are always fighting on this map. In this instance, it's a forgotten beast and a cave crocodile, which actually is burninating the ground around it, it looks like. Right there. This is a towering eyeless crocodile. It has a long swinging trunk and it is ravening. Its dark violet scales are blocky and set far apart. Beware its fire. I'm actually kind of surprised this thing hasn't just walked into my fortress yet, because it probably could. Because it probably could just walk in through here. Well, I mean, I did fortify it, but I'm surprised it hasn't just walked into my fortress yet. You got an entire aquifer layer? Well, I mean, welcome to Dwarf Fort. Expect the unexpected. I slowly cut back my hours until I was doing 1 night a week and then quit because my boss refused to give me a raise. When minimum wage moved up to the wage that I was making, and they're like, yeah, we can give you a 10-cent raise. And I was like, no, you have to give me like a $3 raise. And they were like, we can't do that. I was like, okay, bye. I technically work for my parents, which I still do, but that's an hour and a half to 2 hours a week, if that. I'm the janitor for my parents' school. My parents own a private school for little kids. So I'm their janitor. But I don't really count that as a job because that's mostly just my mom paying me to come and hang out for a few hours once a week. I do work, like I clean the thing, but it's not exactly a difficult gig after basically the industrial cleaning of a factory-style restaurant. How do you avoid embarking with aquifers? There is a search function on the world map. You can search for zones without aquifers, or you can go into your advanced world gen options and just completely disable aquifers. I don't know how to do that, but someone could show you. Because I like aquifers, so. Let me ask you an honest question. When in the world do shitty jobs match tax inflation? Or, sorry, match recent inflation? Also, this was in 2018. Like the end of 2018. So this was a while ago. But yeah, no, I mean, I worked full-time at McDonald's from 2012 until 2016, at which point I cut my shifts down to 3 days a week in 2016, by the end of 2016. And then by the end of 2017, I was doing 1.5 shifts a week. And then 2018, I put in my time to set down to 1 shift a week, and they refused to give me a raise, and I quit. Although I did give them 4 weeks notice, which is like the nicest like olive branch I've ever given an employer. And the only reason I did that was because I was literally the only person still trained in that entire store to do my job, and I wanted to give them a chance to try and find a replacement. And they did, and they both quit within 2 weeks. So, I trained both of them too. I liked my boss at the time. All of my managers at the time at the last location I worked at were all really nice. So, I wonder why they quit. $14 an hour, and the work was really difficult, and this might sound bad out of context, but they were both fresh off the boat, wealthy East Indian kids who'd never worked a day in their life, and I had to explain to them how to use a broom. Who were here to study, I don't even know what the fuck, at some local university. Like, literally, one of them showed up wearing a Ferrari jacket. Of course they're gonna quit within 2 weeks. Wonder why they wanted the job? It's a habit for kids who are studying and living here from abroad that are not citizens to have a job in order to get into the school. So if you are a international citizen studying in Canada, in BC, you have to have a job in order to qualify for school. So what a lot of them will do is they will apply for a job, get hired, and then quit so that they had a job at the time of moving. Which I don't know if that was the case there. That was either the case, or they were just friends with one of the other managers who I didn't like on the morning shift, which is also likely. They were either like relatives of somebody's family member, or what's it called? Just gaming the system. What were you expecting? I mean, the work wasn't easy. Like, it was 8 hours a night of work, and you had to clean both bathrooms, the entire lobby, the entire kitchen, both the stoves, all 18 vats of oil, change or vent the oil, change it if it needs to be changed, clean up the entire outside parking lot, and yeah. And then every other week on Wednesday, you had to clean the ice cream machine. So, yeah, no, it was, at once every other month, you needed to clean the ceilings, we needed to clean the walls, I pressure washed the parking lot, like, yeah, it was a full-time job. It was not easy work. You had to be fast and efficient and good at it. The nice thing about that position, though, in fast food, if you're going to work in fast food, is that it's the only one where you're actually a valued employee, because nobody wants to do that job. So they actually appreciate you if you work in maintenance, even though it fucking sucks and it doesn't pay well enough. The reason a lot of people who work in that position end up working there for a long time is because they actually appreciate you usually. Until you end up with management that doesn't, like the last manager that I had. But I liked the evening shift managers, so I stuck around much longer than I would have otherwise. The evening shift managers were all pretty damn cool. But I just wasn't a fan of the store manager or the opening shift managers. Especially because one of the opening shift managers was extremely racist. You know that term that Hassan got banned from Twitch for calling a white person that for 7 days? Yeah, she used to call me that all the goddamn time. And I was either that or dumb white cunt. Those were the two things I got called. Or dumb C-word cunt. Which is fun. They quit managers? No, I fucking quit that job. But, yes, I also quit the manager. Bitch was so unprofessional, I can't even fucking wrap my brain around it these days. Less offensive than the C word? Well, one gets me banned from Twitch and the other word is cunt. That's why one is more offensive. You won't say it, but that seems so odd. I believe that words have about as much offense as you attribute to them. And if somebody can call me a dick, I can call somebody a cunt. And I stand by that, damn it. Also, I used to play Counter-Strike with 4 Australian dudes. Blame them. It's kind of just stuck in my vocabulary. Also, restaurants didn't help. Why am I like... It's Alt-B, isn't it? No, that's bars. Alt-V? What the fuck is the hotkey for bookcases? Alt-C... Okay. Thank you, Ken. No, but let's just say that you can buy a box of them at the grocery store. Right next to the cookies. That's the word in reference. And it's the reference to a skinny white person who does a lot of meth. Or crack cocaine. Which is why it's ridiculous to me that people are offended by it. You prefer twat waffle? Twat waffle is probably my... I've seen twat waffle, twat muffin, and pillow muncher, and all of those are great. What's even funnier is when I quit that job, I literally sat here for like an hour on just chatting, explaining all of this shit that my management used to put me through, specifically the opening shift management that were really racist. And everybody in chat was like, there's no way that's offensive. What? And then like was it the end of last year or beginning of this year? I can't remember. Hassan got banned for a week. And I'm sitting there going, I feel vindicated because finally somebody agrees with me. Douche canoe? Yeah, douche canoe is also good. Twat muffin's great. Twat muffin sounds like something that I'd eat for breakfast. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have some twat muffins and bangers. Let's go. Is that it's in the context? I suppose, but like if you say an N-word out of context, it doesn't matter. Like even if you say that as part of like song lyrics, you can get in trouble. So I don't think context matters anymore, depending on the word. I think words like cunt, yeah, sure, context matters. You call people nerds? I think nerd is a term of affection at this point. Also, nerds, delicious candy. Like, I'm not a big, like, sweets person, but, like, can we just talk about how nerds are amazing? I just want, like, a box of nerds in my mouth all the time. All the time. Fanny Baz? I think Fanny Baz is actually, like, a bag brand. It's, like, maybe one word away from a bag brand. Nerd ropes? What the heck's a nerd rope? You might be thinking of something else. I'm thinking of these things. Trust me, all of this phrasing is intentional. Absolutely intentional. See, box of nerds in my mouth. These things. Little crunchy balls. Or rocks? I don't know what the heck these are supposed to be, but these things. These are great. Nerds rope is a gummy rope coated in nerds candy? Oh, wait, it's literally that. Yeah, okay, I've never seen these before. These must not be in Canada, which is possible. That looks like a toothache. I don't even know what the candy looks like, but that just looks like a toothache and I want one. Now just Google rope. I mean, if I just Google rope, I might get something that's NSFW. Oh. Oh, yeah, okay. Yep. I'm picking up what you're putting down. That looks wonderful. Fuck me up, fam. I'll take a snake of nerds any day. I would actually say that a nerd rope slaps. Tie me up with that. Let's go. Fuck edible underwear. I want edible rope. Anyway, as a diabetic, that does still look like pain, though. Unfortunately, it's something that I will probably never eat in my life. Your favorite non-chocolate candy, Chewies? Is Chewy Spree? I know what a Chewy is. I don't know what Chewy Spree. I think you need to remember that most of Canada doesn't have the same candy as America, right? Edible underwear is not for you. It's for another person. Fair enough. I mean, that's the only thing that's keeping Spencer's Gifts in business, right? I learned recently that there's actually a Spencer's Gifts close to me, and I was like, holy shit, Spencer's Gifts still exists. Weird. I'm still confused by this. When blood glucose drops too much, 10 grams of candy is useful. Yeah, but I'd rather just have a tablespoon of honey. I don't keep candy around because I don't want things that are temptations, you know? Candy's a temptation. Tablespoon of honey, not so much. I can put a little bit of honey in my oatmeal and account for it, but like if I'm gonna die, I'd rather just like take a glucose tablet. Although, I will say the best part about being a type 1 diabetic is you can have a medical emergency and fix it with a cupcake. Like, true story. I was going for a walk once and my tongue got numb and my knees started shaking. I was like, uh-oh, I think I'm going low. I checked my blood sugar and, yep, I'm very low. Like, I'm about to die low. And I walked into a Tim Hortons and had a donut and it was great. I actually had 2 donuts. Why are you linking... Oh, those, yeah, I've had those. Best time. Proper traditional taffy's good. Cronuts? So I'm just gonna say what I think that is without the description. I'm assuming it's candy because you asked if we had cronuts. That sounds like something that I would kill in The Witcher. Donut with croissant dough? Yes, I've had that. But they're not called croissant. They're not called cronuts. Like, I'm pretty sure that I could just go get those at my local grocery store. Yeah. Like, just what Dragon has said. Like, I'm pretty sure I can just go buy those. But also, Tim Hortons is terrible, so don't ever go to Tim Hortons if you can avoid it. Your sound specifically for this window is busted. You should unbust it. But the important question, Axon, is, does it make you feel good? We've named a copper shield. That was weird, just like me. You have no idea what Tim Hortons is? It's a hockey player. True story. He's a hockey player who started a very Canadian associated donut and coffee shop that has some of the worst coffee you'll ever drink and also some of the worst donuts you'll ever eat. It's a sad excuse for both donuts and coffee. But if you're having a medical emergency, you can eat one and it'll fix you if you're a type 1 diabetic. I have an emote for this very occasion. Actually, I have 4. Hold up. Gotta copy these. There you go. I think, wait, what may have split it, though. Here, let me try busting again. There you go. I fucked it up. I don't know why that fucked it up that way, but okay, hold up. There you go. How's that? Did I do it? Did I get it? Right on topic. There it is. The reason that streamer has that emote is there was one time somebody requested a 10-hour version of the Bustin' song, and he left it on for the full 10 hours. he had song requests on, and somebody put on Bustin', and he just changed after about an hour. He doesn't talk much on stream. He almost never talks on his stream. He just sits there in silence and plays games. After about an hour, he changed the title of his stream to Bustin'. That was just the whole stream for like the rest of the day. It was a very fun day. No, not that Bustin'. You have no real clue about it? I have a lot of clue about coffee. This is going to be our library. The other Bustin' song, yes. The other Bustin' song. And we now have a library. The Silvery Vault! That's a good name. I like it. I wonder. Give me all job cancel requests. It doesn't train anything faster, but if you give them a lever to pull, it resets what they're thinking, and they will get stuck researching and pondering and thinking about stuff. And so if you give them a lever to pull, it resets what they're thinking about so that they have another opportunity to write a book instead of ponder or think about it. So it makes them, in theory, write books faster. I don't know if it still works. I've never really messed around with it. I know how it works in theory, but... You're back from getting your ass kicked by COVID. Wait, weren't you here like 2 hours ago? What? What happened in the last 2 hours? You okay? Yeah, exactly. What? But I hope you feel better. Jeez. You tapped out to nap a little bit? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, this fort's still getting hot in here. So that's happening. We're draining water. I just made a library. Bustin' makes me feel good. My old manager was racist. Second Life is wild. I'm trying to think of all the other things we've covered. Today's been busy. Yeah, literally you can use a lever as a fidget spinner. That's actually a very good analogy. LA is an evil biome, yep. But the rest of California is just untamed wilds. I'm trying to figure out what else we need to cover. Pedophile rings in LA are necromancer towers. Rich man punched another man on a plane. Yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff today. I don't know. But Fortress is good. One dwarf burst into flames after getting too close to the hot stuff, which was sad. Child made an artifact turkey leg. By that I mean an artifact mace made out of turkey bone, which to me is just an artifact turkey leg. You know, If I wear my hair down and took my glasses off, I could claim that I'm cosplaying as Andrew WK because I'm wearing a white t-shirt. Can you get a replacement dwarf? I thought that you had one in this fort. Did you die? I guess you did. What kind of dwarf do you want? Because sure. And I don't know what day it is. Somebody popped in earlier today and said, Happy Friday. I was like, what day is it? Ah! And I still kind of feel that way. Cancels water. Source vanished. Are you trying to drink water? The fuck's wrong with you? I have a dwarf out here? No? Gem cutter. I have a militia captain who's a gem cutter. Zon, aka Axon. That's oddly fitting. Let's see. You have killed 1 Crundle, 1 zombie goblin, 1 zombie Tricell peregrine, 3 zombie wolves, and 1 zombie wolf. And she was exhilarated remembering a sparring season. I don't know what y'all's been smoking. It's definitely Saturday, the fuck. I mean, it was Rory who came and said, Happy Friday. I was like, bruh, it's Thursday. And now everybody's saying it's Saturday, so I don't know. Guys, 420 lasted longer than I expected. He was exhilarated after remembering a sparring session, and was enraptured after communing with the lens of pregnancies, and was bitter after getting into an argument and uneasy after being unable to acquire something for too long. She is married to Libesh and has 1 child who's named Thighcut, and she is an ardent worshiper of the lens of pregnancy. She's 103 years old, born on the 1st of Granite in the year 82. She has a prominent chin, and her slightly sunken heliotrope eyes have large irises. Her ears have large hanging lobes, and her head is somewhat broad. Her eyelashes are quite long, and her medium-length hair is braided. Her hair is black mixed with gray, and her skin is dark peach. Her lips are slightly thick. I'm sorry, is my goddamn the lens of pregnancies? Well, you have a lover and a husband, by the way. So first off, you're a playa, so congrats. The lens of pregnancies, not lands, lens of pregnancies, is a deity of the Crimson Pulley. The lens most often takes the form of a female dwarf and is associated with song and inspiration. You worship the god of, like, music, basically. Anyway, her head is somewhat broad, and her eyelashes are quite long, and her medium-length hair is braided. Her hair is black and mixed with gray, and her skin is dark peach. Her lips are slightly thick. She likes tetrahedrite, fine pewter, clear garnet, bayberry wood, hemp fabric, and the color ivory, boxes and bags, and cats for their aloofness, and spider monkeys for their limbs. When possible, prefers to consume 2-legged rhino lizard and clownfish and cranberry wine, and absolutely hates toads. Personally, greatly respects those that observe decorum and maintain their dignity, and finds sacrifice to be the height of folly. Treasures leisure time and thinks she is very important in the grand scheme of, and thinks she treasures leisure times and thinks it is very important in life, and prefers a noisy, bustling life to days without activity, and dreams of mastering a skill in this dream was realized. She never acts without prolonged deliberation, even to her own detriment and the harm of those around her. That's why you're a militia captain. And she lives at a slow-going and leisurely pace, just like this entire fortress, and likes a little excitement now and again. She can handle stress, and she tends to form only tenuous emotional bonds with others. She has an active imagination and sometimes acts with little determination and confidence, and doesn't feel envious of others, and has a greedy streak. And she generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity and needs alcohol to get through the working day. Does not mind being outdoors at least for a time, and doesn't really care about anything anymore, although she is satisfied with focused with satisfied needs. I don't believe I've ever intentionally listened to a single Tech 9 track in my entire life. Also, is it actually canonically spelled B*TCH? Because that's funny if that's the case. Unless you just wrote it that way to self-censor, which is understandable. You're reading a book. You always get the polyamorous dwarves? Those are the fun dwarves, though. Who knows their... How do you know that they're poly? We don't know that your husband knows. You might just be, a dwarf. So I don't know why they're talking about water sources vanishing, because the only water source in this fort is literally my well, which is an active water source. I don't know why. Okay, so okay, so the only logic I've come to is that there's got to be a dwarf on this side. Also, why is there a dingo corpse in a tree? Okay, good. It's not in a tree. There in the trees. Go ahead. Dingo Head, by the way, is my new punk band. So many dead dingoes in these trees, it's ridiculous. Okay, hold up. Did you know that it, like, just sticks to the last one? It's interesting. I never knew that. Where is the dwarf that canceled the job? In my fort. But was trying to get path to water that's outside of my fort for some reason. God, I'm so weirded out that there's actually a PAX happening. I can't fully wrap my brain around it, but it's so strange to me. It's like, oh my God, there's actually a PAX happening. Did I have a really fucking weird dream, or did we have a full conversation about something called Pimp Juice yesterday? We had a very long conversation about the energy drink called Pimp Juice that was made by, I can't remember the name. Pimp Juice. It's also a song by Nelly, apparently. Energy drink, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, no, it's literally an energy drink. We were talking about it yesterday. Pimp Juice, see? I'm not joking. And also, it's green. Those are signed cans of Pimp Juice that are rare. But yeah, anyway, it's the rapper Nelly's energy drink called Pimp Juice. So no, you didn't have a really weird dream last night. We did talk about that yesterday. The drink or the song? The song. I know that for a fact. Hi, audio. All right, chat room. So I've got this spell that's come over me in the last hour, and I suddenly really, it's disturbing. Lots of things are disturbing. I suddenly really want to play some Jupiter Hell. So we've played a lot of Dwarf Fort in the last few days. We have 84 dwarves. It's currently the year 185, meaning this fortress is about 6 years old.
Heal, damn it.
It's true. And there's lava everywhere, and we're going to continue spreading the lava. The river down here is finally drying up. Yay! Look at that. It's almost dry. And the next time we play this, which will be sometime next week, we will work on drying this up down here too. So, I think it is time for us to save. And rip and tear. It should come with a Band-Aid. What, Pimp Juice? You know, for some reason, paper cuts hurt me. Whenever I read your name, my brain reads it as chains and whips excite me. That line. I don't know why. Like, my brain reads your name to that tune whenever I read it in my head. The old Lady Gaga lyric. I think it's Lady Gaga. Was that Lady Gaga? Was that Rihanna? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, I don't know why I do that, but that's stuck in my head. That's Rihanna? Okay. That's the same thing. They're both confusing and strange.